Hallo und willkommen zu Lonestar. Wir spielen The Excavation of Hob's Barrow. Wir haben uns gerade ein bisschen die Landschaft angesehen, aber es reicht ja jetzt. Oh, ich glaube, wir sollten nicht einfach hier rumlaufen, oder? Nicht, dass wir uns verirren.
I've seen cairns like this all over England, quite common. The moors continue for miles in this direction. I don't wish to lose my way.
Dann schätze ich, will sie da auch nicht landen. Ach, das sind nochmal Häuser.
I'm not sure if
Mushrooms.
these are poisonous or edible.
Ja, wir sollten sie aber trotzdem nicht einfach pflücken, egal wie.
The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
Naja, aber das sind doch die Häuser, zu denen kann man doch. Dann schätze ich mal, es ist eins von denen.
I can't think of anything else to talk about right now.
Ja, wir hätten doch von dem Pfarrer berichten können.
No one here.
Ja, wir haben eh kein Geld. Wir brauchen nicht in die
The
Läden
sign is
rein.
in a shabby state, but the shop appears to be a cobbler's.
Shoes. Die Flaschen hier vorne. Na nö. Wo ist denn der Chef?
Pulling the bell would be quite unbecoming of me. I must say, last night has rather put me off using these toilets.
Naja, aber irgendwo müssen wir ja.
A sturdy-looking thing, useful to many a weary traveller. I've stored my case in there, a box within a box. I don't wish to take it. I don't wish to carry the...
Ja, ich glaube, wir haben sonst nichts, was wir brauchen.
The candle
Candlestick
has
vielleicht?
melted. It's not much use anymore. Perhaps Mr. Kemp will replace it this evening.
Ja, perhaps.
Jammed shut. The wood must have warped over the years. A decrepit set of drawers.
Also die Schubladen bekommen wir gar nicht
I've
auf.
hung my dress inside. Aside from that, the wardrobe is empty.
Tja, dann gehen wir mal. Ja, ich glaube, da fällt uns gar nichts mehr Vernünftiges ein, außer zum Pfarrer zu gehen. Hm?
A storeroom of some kind. It's rather empty. Royal Mail, Postmaster's Residence. This must be the local post office.
Ja, da kann man doch mal reingehen, oder?
I don't think anyone is home.
Ja, was machen die denn den ganzen Tag? Ja.
The bucket is rusty and full of holes.
Ich wollte ja eigentlich
I can't think
nur
of-
vorbeilaufen. Nicht durch die Kotze laufen. Okay, was haben wir hier?
No doubt home to many a woodland creature.
I shall see you later this evening, gents. Well, I say. Greetings, my dear.
I
Hello,
say.
sir.
A pause on your beauty, for I shall see you again soon.
Wait!
War das der Mr. Shoulder?
Some nerve.
Lady, you're blushing.
I most certainly am not. The men look like they've spent many a long day exposed to the harsh moorland weather. The men look like...
Sorry, lass. No way through here today.
Says who?
Lord Panswick. Now get back before you find yourself under a falling tree.
My name is Thomasina Bateman.
Oh, aye? You're not from round here, Thomasina Bateman.
No, just visiting.
Und er hätte eigentlich jetzt sagen sollen, wer er ist, wenn er irgendwie ein bisschen höflich wäre.
What is your name, sir?
Horace.
Are you in charge here?
I am indeed.
Tell me, who was that arrogant man here just now?
Just someone passing by.
It sounded like you knew him better than that.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's none of your business.
Die sind alle so komisch hier.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like I'm doing? We're chopping down trees.
There is no need to be sarcastic.
We're employed by Lord Panswick. He's ordered us to gather logs from his woods. That's what we're doing.
Ja, dann sagt das doch gleich.
These are his woods.
Aye, his lordship owns most of the land round Bewlay.
Bewlay?
Who is Lord Panswick?
Our governor.
He's the governor of the whole town.
All right, Owen, back to work now.
He lives in Bewlay.
Aye, not far away, but his lordship doesn't like questions or visitors. Now, please leave us to our work.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No, I don't. Can you let me get back to my work now?
Have you heard of a place called Hob's Barrow?
Can't say I have.
Why are you gathering logs for Lord Panswick?
By heck, you ask a lot of questions. If you must know, his lordship is repairing an old ruin on his land. We need the timber for the restoration work.
How intriguing. What type of ruin is Lord Panswick restoring?
An old chapel.
I
Oh,
should rather like to see it.
Not possible. His lordship does not welcome visitors to his estate.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be done by tomorrow morning. Come back then if you want to explore the woods.
I'll let him get on with his work.
das ist Horace.
I'll let him get on with his work.
Ah ja, gut. Okay, Vater.
What do you know of Lord Panswick?
Oh, yes. A rather important fellow around here. His vast land holdings give many a steady employment.
I hear he is renovating an old chapel on his land.
Aye, I've heard such reports. He believes this to be a godless land. Something I wholeheartedly disagree with. To which god his chapel will be dedicated to remains a matter of concern.
Why do you say that?
Oh, my apologies. Don't listen to my oafish conjecture. Let us move on.
Aha. Der ist aber wirklich sehr seltsam. Und das mit dem Blut ablassen, das ist immer noch sehr strange.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
Excellent. I feel the fresh air will do me well. Follow me.
Ich hoffe, wir haben jetzt genügend von dem Dorf gesehen.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Mrs. Duplancy. Mrs. Duplancy, this is Thomasina Bateman, a visitor to our parish.
Wir kennen uns schon.
We've already had the pleasure of meeting, Father.
Excellent. Miss Bateman, don't hesitate to try one of Mrs. Duplancy's wonderful cakes.
Yes, I've heard about her famous Bakewell puddings.
I'll be here all day, young lady. But remember, once they're gone, they're gone. Those little whelps have already gobbled up all the gingerbread.
You are doing God's work, Mrs. Duplancy.
He smiles upon us, Father.
Miss Bateman, if you'd like to follow me. Let's talk of graves, of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes, write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors, and talk of wills.
Shakespeare?
Quite. Which play?
What? Hamlet, Richard II, Macbeth, woher soll ich das wissen? Nach Macbeth klingt's nicht ganz. Hamlet?
Hamlet?
Magnificent guess, Miss Bateman, but I'm afraid that passage is from Richard II. Studying the work of the bard is one of my favorite pastimes. Follow me.
Ich hoffe, er hat nicht an jeder Ecke jetzt so ein Quiz.
Behold, the vast expanse of God's creation. The moors extend as far as the mortal eye can see. Beautiful, is it not?
Very. Indeed, the moors are beautiful. I find them rather desolate. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Indeed, the moors are beautiful.
The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, he is found in all domains. The Lord's work is all about us. Tell me, Miss Bateman, do you believe in God?
Tell the truth. Father Roach seems prepared to hear it. Lie, you might want to avoid tense situation.
I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life, Father Roach. But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He had an accident when I was very young.
Come along now, Thomasina. Let's get out of the rain. Remember what I told you, all right? Be a good girl. People are unwell here. They don't want to hear you running about making noise. Understood?
Yes, Mother.
Good. And don't annoy the nurses.
I promise I won't.
Good. Now, let's see your father.
Oh. Oh.
Mummy is crying.
Sieht wohl schlecht aus mit ihrem Vater.
Daddy is sleeping. Daddy, wake up! Mummy? Mummy?
Good evening, Mr. Bateman. Hello, little one. You must be Thomasina?
Yes.
My name is Nurse Blaketon. I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit. I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Will he ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all. But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst, ma'am. He will have a nurse by his side at all times, I can assure you.
Ins Koma gefallen.
What sort of god would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious ways, but he loves us all. Come along now.
Hello? She scampered off in a hurry. Who was that?
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewlay.
I see.
Primitive folk?
How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid, but we'll get to him soon enough. Now then, take a look at this. Legend has it that this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
That's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
Was nur ein C und der Rest? Wo ist
We
der?
walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape. All the while, Father Roach was whistling away merrily. Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
Mit Hühnern und einem
Here we
Hahn.
are, Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely, this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now, no need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However, I have something to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. de Plancy about my little scene in the woods. She will only fret. The poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
Ja, ich weiß nicht. Sollte man nicht irgendjemandem Bescheid sagen, wie es ihm geht? Ich hoffe, er nimmt uns dann wieder mit zurück.
A carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon. Father, what do you make of this?
A peculiar adornment. I've not seen any like this in Bewlay, though it does remind me of a passage by the bard himself. It is the very error of the moon. She comes nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
Echt jetzt? Romeo und Julia, The Merchant of Venice, Othello.
Romeo and Juliet.
A fine tragedy. But that particular passage is from the great Othello. I'm afraid your knowledge of the bard is somewhat lacking.
It's been a while since I've read his work, Father.
Never mind.
Eieieiei. Ich hoffe, dass wir wenigstens durch Zufall eins mal richtig haben.
This must provide a charming view across the moor.
No sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned. Here, chuk chuk chuk.
Don't encourage them.
Wieso nicht?
A fearsome-looking beast. A sweet little hen, plump and well-groomed.
Na komm, wir klopfen mal.
Mr. Shoulder? Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewlay as discussed.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age.
A carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon. It's bolted onto the door itself. I can't remove it. Mr. Shoulder, are you home?
Kommt wohl keiner, hm?
It appears Mr. Shoulder is not at home.
Oder er hört nichts, oder er ist schon tot. Wer weiß.
Curses.
Perhaps you could try the handle?
It's locked. A sweet little... Care to hold one, Father Roach?
Put that thing down, would you?
You're no fun.
Was mache ich jetzt mit dem Huhn? Okay. What?
Mr. Shoulder has stacked blocks of wood neatly beneath this small lean-to.
Very neat and tidy.
A pair of thick woolen trousers. That glove looks familiar. I wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow. The gloves are a pair. Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night? Why didn't he come inside to see me?
Und wieso hängt er den einen
Perhaps he's
Handschuh
gone for a
zum
stroll.
Possibly.
Trocknen
I'd
auf?
suggest you call back later, my child. I myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to with the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewlay?
No, you go ahead, Father, thank you.
As you wish. Farewell, Miss Bateman. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Much ado about nothing?
Oh dear. I thought that was an easy one. Romeo and Juliet.
Of course.
That I shall say good night till it be morrow. Lord be with you.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, I'll just have to find Hob's Barrow myself.
Ob es dafür ein Achievement gibt, dreimal nicht gewusst, was für ein Stück es ist.
Mr. Shoulder must have dropped the matching glove last night. What was he doing in the alley? Rather rude of him not to come inside and see me.
Was mit der Hose?
The trousers feel damp. Freshly hung or still wet from last night's rain? Slightly damp.
Und wieso können wir die Hühner anfassen und mitnehmen?
I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside. You're a sweet little thing, aren't you?
Kann man das Fenster klopfen?
No sign of any movement. He looks much too unruly to be picked up.
Wir haben einen Schlüssel. Aber Room Key, der wird nicht passen.
This key doesn't fit here.
Ah ja, das ist ja der vom Hotel, ne?
As I trudged back to Bewlay across those cold moors, I made a new resolution. I would find Hob's Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder. The train! That must be Kenneth. I should go and meet him at the station.
Ja, sehr schön. Wir sind auch wieder zurück. So. Hier lang. Na du?
Where is Kenneth?
Wo ist mein Geld? Meine Ausrüstung?
He was supposed to wait for me at the station. I'm looking for my assistant, Kenneth.
Oh, aye?
His train has arrived.
Not a single soul disembarked the last train, Miss Bateman.
Ach komm, der lügt mich doch an.
Was that not the midday train from London by way of Derby?
Aye, it were. Mr. Price were here, unloaded a few crates.
But no Kenneth.
Not a soul. Hold on. One of them crates had your name on it, Miss Bateman. A great big one it were, with...
A red ribbon.
Aye.
What is Kenneth playing at, sending my equipment but not himself? Curses.
Ob der jetzt hier irgendwo im Gemüse liegt?
Where is my crate now?
Mr. Price took away all the crates on his cart.
Who?
Mr. Price. He's the postmaster.
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom, just north of the plough and furrow. You'll see it. There's a Royal Mail plaque on the wall.
Da waren wir schon mal, wollen wir dazu.
What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
Oh, you've heard of his lordship, then?
Yes. Do you know him?
Aye. He comes into the village from time to time, gives sweets to the children, hires young men to work his land. He's well liked around here.
I sense some hesitation, Mr. Tillett.
Well, we kind of have an unspoken agreement with his lordship. He looks after us, provided we leave him alone.
I don't follow.
He likes his privacy.
Some people do.
No one is allowed to visit him.
Do you mean to say that he's a bit eccentric?
No. I've heard people got fired at when approaching his manor uninvited.
Good grief. But is this true?
Well, I won't be the one to find out.
Das hört sich aber sehr verdächtig an.
I'm looking for Hob's Barrow.
Hob's Barrow.
It's why Leonard Shoulder invited me to Bewlay. He thought I might like to excavate it.
Oh, aye. I heard about a Hob's Barrow somewhere out there. There's some old stories around it.
What stories?
I can't remember.
Mr. Tillett, please. This is important.
I'm awfully sorry, Miss Bateman.
I'll
try to remember. If he
Der alte
invited you
Säufer.
here, then I'm sure Mr. Shoulder will tell you all about it.
That's if I ever get to meet him.
I'm sure you will.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house, but he wasn't home.
Don't worry. You'll find him.
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom.
Das
You'll
wissen wir
see it.
schon.
Thank you. Where can I find...
Nein, nein, nein.
Thank you.
Ich wollte auf End Conversation
Farewell
gehen.
for now.
Ta-ra!
Also. Hoffentlich ist da dann auch Geld dabei.
Cyril is no doubt keeping watch on any potential new arrivals from the railway station. Good day to you, Cyril.
I'll do, lass.
What are you up to, Cyril?
Keeping an eye on that bleeding railway station. That's what, thankfully. No one got off the last train.
Really hate that station, don't you?
Oh, I curse Midland Railway for bringing their damn line through Bewlay. This is our town, our land. 'Tis no place for outsiders.
So you keep saying.
Anyway, no more trains today. Almost time to celebrate with an ale, I think.
I could do with one myself.
You paying?
No. I found Mr. Shoulder's house today, but he wasn't home.
Why the bleeding hell should I care, lass?
Ach komm, sei doch nicht so, hä, Cyril? Wir sind doch gute Freunde geworden in der Zeit.
I'm looking for Hob's Barrow. Do you know where it is?
Mind your own business, lass.
Das ist mein own business.
You really are quite helpful, aren't you?
Bah.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra, lass.
Hi, ja. Weiß er was?
Yes.
What can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
His lordship commands much respect around here, lass. Keeps me busy with work. Why do you ask?
Just curious. Are you sure you don't know where Hob's Barrow is?
Sorry, lass.
Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Gehen wir mal kurz zur Kirche.
Hello. Good day.
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
Wretched man. They say he is restoring a chapel near his manor. But for whom and to what god, I ask?
Is he a man of faith?
I've barely seen him set foot in St. Edmunds. It doesn't stop him from acting as our God-given ruler. Stay away from him, pet. Don't get yourself tangled up in local affairs.
I certainly don't intend to.
Ja, wollte ich auch gerade sagen, haben wir gar nicht vor. Hm? Da mit dem Haus haben wir ja versprochen, wir sagen es nicht, deswegen klicke ich es mal nicht, obwohl wir es ja vermutlich eigentlich sagen sollten, dass jemandem gar nicht gut geht.
Are you sure you don't know where Hob's Barrow is?
Hobbs, what?
Never mind. Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Tja, wo ist denn der Pfarrer hin?
They are still locked.
Ich hoffe, der ist nicht wieder im Wald.
It's locked.
Wir können ja noch mal gucken. Ah, ist wenigstens weg, wieder aufgeräumt hier.
Do you know where I can find a place called Hob's Barrow?
Never heard of it.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be done by tomorrow morning. Come back then if you want to explore the woods.
Die wissen auch nichts. Oder sagen zumindest, sie wissen nichts. Also, das muss ja nichts bedeuten. So. Wir wollten ja eigentlich zur Post.
It's locked.
Sollen wir mit Betty noch mal reden?
Good day.
Hello, miss.
Die ist aber auch sehr aufgeweckt, ne? Hello.
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
Not a lot. I know he's in charge around here.
Does he come to the village often?
Not really. He has a manor out on the moors.
Have you ever been there?
Heavens, no. Villagers aren't allowed there.
Why not?
Dunno. It's just the way it is.
Are you sure you know nothing of Hob's Barrow? I really must find it.
I'm sure.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
Hello?
Yes?
What do you know about Lord Panswick?
He gave me some sweets once. My friend says that Lord Panswick has special trees at his manor that grow sweets on their branches.
Ja,
You
ja.
think that's true, miss?
I think that's very unlikely.
Me too.
Are you sure you know nothing of Hob's Barrow?
That like a wheelbarrow.
Never mind. Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Ja, manchmal wissen die Kinder mehr als die anderen sagen. Ist das der
That must be the
Postmaster?
postmaster's storeroom. He looks a little chirpier than your average Bewlay resident. Hello?
Good day. I haven't seen you in Bewlay before.
I'm just visiting.
Lovely. It's nice to see a new face. We don't get many visitors. My name's Henry. Henry Long.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Thomasina Bateman.
Wonderful. What a treat.
You seem in a good mood, Mr. Long.
It's just lovely to see a new face. Where are you from, Miss Bateman?
Der ist ganz anders. Also ich vertraue ihm eigentlich nicht, aber wieso sollten wir ihm jetzt irgendwas vorlügen? Also harmless kommt er mir nicht vor. It's hard to trust anyone here. Aber trotzdem, wie gesagt, also ich vertraue ihm nicht, aber wieso sollte ich ihn anlügen?
Originally a small town on the outskirts of Derby, Mr. Long. Though I currently reside in London.
London? I've never met anyone from London. How very exciting. Have you lived there a long time?
It's been quite a few years now, yes.
I've heard that the air there is so heavy with smoke, it makes it hard to breathe. Is that true?
Some days.
Oh, you must miss the fresh northern air. Well, you've got that in Bewlay. No factories out here. Such things are a blight on his creation. I were born in this very home I stand in front of. Bewlay is in my blood. Why would I ever want to leave? Especially now I can meet new folk thanks to the railway line.
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
Oh, Mr. Price, my lovely neighbour. I'm afraid you've just missed him.
Curses.
I saw him wheeling a large crate into his storeroom just there.
It must be mine. I really need it.
Have a look through the window to see if it's yours.
Where did Mr. Price go?
I don't know. The man were in a hurry. I know he has family in Bakewell.
That's miles away. Did he leave by foot?
No, by horse. He must be a few miles down the road by now.
Curses.
Müssen wir bei ihm jetzt einbrechen, um das zu holen?
When will Mr. Price be back?
He didn't say. Could be tonight, could be a few days.
How infuriating.
I told him I'd keep watch of his storeroom, and I'm a man of my word, Miss Bateman. I shall not budge from this spot.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, funny old fellow. I hear he lives way out on the moors somewhere.
Have you seen him recently?
No, not
Jetzt
for a long
lügt
while now that you
Hat zu
mention
lange
it.
gebraucht.
Why do you ask?
It's a long story, but I was to meet him in Bewlay. He invited me here.
Well, I must thank him when I see him for inviting such an enchanting young woman.
You flatter me, Mr. Long.
Ja, der gefällt mir immer weniger, der Typ.
I'm looking for Hob's Barrow.
One of those old burial hills?
Yes. Do you know where it is?
Believe it or not, I haven't set foot on the moors since I were a child.
Why is that?
I've got all I need right here in Bewlay. And we are all truly blessed with the railway station, which brings us lovely new faces.
Es hört sich so an, als würden die Leute aufessen, die da aussteigen.
Your opinion of the railway station differs widely from your fellow townsfolk, Mr. Long. I've not met anyone particularly keen on it.
That railway line is the start of a new era for Bewlay. Mark my words. There's much to protect here, but we need new blood.
Ah,
I hope that some of you
Vampire.
visitors will actually stay here permanently.
Why is that?
So I have new friends to talk to. Some people here don't want any new friends. Cyril Farnaby, the miserable old sod, is the worst offender.
Kann man schon vorstellen, dass er da ein paar Leichen bei sich im Keller hat. So ein paar Schrumpfköpfe oder so, mit denen er dann irgendwie am Abend spricht.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Cyril. He really dislikes the railway station.
Absolutely miserable he is. I've tried to convince him many times that the station will help Bewlay. He just doesn't understand.
I met him last night in the Plough and Furrow.
Aye, the scene of our many debates. Blimey, I could go for an ale right now, actually.
Can I buy you a drink?
Really?
No. Wait. Do you think Mr. Kemp will let me open a tab?
Perhaps. You could always ask him. I shouldn't leave anyway. Mr. Price is relying on me to keep watch of his storeroom.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger.
Wir müssen ihn also hier loswerden. Aber wir haben kein Geld, deswegen müssen wir dann erstmal uns verschulden beim Barkeeper, dass wir das anschreiben lassen.
Royal Mail, Postmaster's Residence. This must be the local post office. There's my crate. Kenneth always ties a red ribbon to it. I can see an envelope tucked behind the ribbon. Perhaps it can help explain Kenneth's absence.
Oder er ist in der
I'm
Kiste.
going to have to get in there.
Ich habe auch kein tolles Einbruchswerkzeug gerade. Mr. Long. Naja dann, so long, Mr. Long. Die üblichen Gäste sind schon da.
It's Mr. Stanley Kemp, the proprietor of the Plough and Furrow. He has the serious and worn-out facial expression of a man who deals with drunkards on a nightly basis.
Dann reden wir erstmal über den Rest mit ihm.
I found Mr. Shoulders home, thanks to the help of Father Roach.
Wonderful! So you've met our vicar then?
Yes, I did. An interesting character.
Indeed. So, did old Leonard apologise for his absence?
Not quite. He wasn't home.
What is that man playing at?
You tell me. I've decided to find Hob's Barrow without Mr. Shoulders' aid.
Are you sure that's a wise idea, lass?
What other choice do I have? I have a feeling he is avoiding me. Do you know where I can find the barrow?
No, sorry. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
Na, wer weiß. Kenneth!
My assistant has not arrived as planned.
Oh, is everything all right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Am I to keep a room for him, just in case?
If you could hold it for one more night, Mr. Kemp.
As you wish.
Solange es kein Geld kostet, weil wir haben jetzt keins.
What can you tell me about Lord Panswick?
A most charming man, Miss Bateman. He looks after us here, a good fellow.
Where does he live?
Panswick Manor, on the moors. No visitors allowed. His lordship likes his privacy.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mr. Kemp, but could I please open a tab?
Still not in your purse?
I'm afraid not. My assistant hasn't arrived as planned, so I find myself in a bind. He must have put the money in my crate, which is currently being held in Mr. Price's storeroom.
Well, as you know, I run an honest establishment here, and I do trust you. So yes, I'll open an account for you, to be settled at the end of your stay.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Now then, I'll be needing something of value as a deposit.
I thought you said you trusted me.
Aye, it's not personal, lass. One can never be too cautious.
Na dann, haben wir irgendwas?
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Können wir vielleicht die Silver Necklace einsetzen, die uns gar nicht gehört? Das wäre aber fies.
Will you accept this silver cross pendant as a deposit?
Can I take a closer look at it? Aye, silver. That'll do.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Can I get you something to drink?
Nee.
Not right now, Mr. Kemp.
As you were.
Ja, ob das die beste Möglichkeit war, das Kreuz von irgendjemandem anderen hier einzusetzen, das wissen wir nicht. Und wir müssen als nächstes gucken. Ach so, wir haben immer noch Bewlay to explore. Anscheinend haben wir noch gar nicht alles gesehen. Hob's Barrow müssen wir finden. Mr. Shoulder is nowhere to be seen. It's time to find Hob's Barrow myself. Und wir müssen in den Postmaster Storeroom. Find a way into the Postmaster Storeroom. My crate is inside. How can I get in there without attracting too much attention? Ja, dafür müssen wir den Tab öffnen. Das haben wir gerade gemacht. Dann können wir den anderen hier vielleicht reinlocken, aber dann brauchen wir irgendwas, um die Tür zu knacken. Da müssen wir uns also noch ein paar Gedanken machen, aber ich würde sagen, das machen wir alles nicht mehr heute. Machen wir an dieser Stelle lieber erstmal ein kleines Päuschen und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.